This is The Big Show. Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean. That's what I'm talking about. OneFM 91.3. Good times, latest hits.
Good morning! Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and TheBigShow.tv. It is Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean. And this morning we have an extremely special guest.
Yes, introducing Chef Lucas Glanville, who is the Director of Culinary Operations for Singapore and Southeast Asia for Hyatt Hotels. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Thanks for the
Chef.
opportunity.
Welcome,
Great to
Chef.
see you all.
Aussie,
Good
Aussie,
morning.
Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, Chef Lucas, we have you on board not just as the culinary director for operations for Hyatt Hotels, but also you are a massive eco advocate in the hotels and beyond. You have brought Hyatt Hotel to have zero waste for your food in Singapore. You also are an advocate for preserving the planet for future generations. You've been an advocate for plant-based foods, introduction to plant-based foods. In fact, it was at the Hyatt Hotel's food truck in the driveway. I'm not sure if any of you
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
We love it.
Where I tried my very first Beyond hot dog, and also my Omni Pork Chinese takeaway box, and you did so much more. Tell us what you're not doing.
Well, I think it's important for chefs nowadays. We're very fortunate that we're in a very privileged position, and it's really important we make a difference. And every time a chef makes a decision and they go shopping for the day to food buffets, that sends a very direct message back into the food chain about the ingredients we use. And then when our guests come to our hotels, their decisions also makes a big impact on the planet as well. So I'm kind of like the guy in the middle that needs to make sure that we make the right decisions for what we purchase and comes into the hotel, and what we serve our guests. So it's a very important decision that we make every day. So we can't take those decisions lightly.
I know you make these decisions with food. Have you seen an increase in clientele at the Hyatts requesting for more plant-based food?
Yeah, absolutely. When we first started, a lot of this comes from the heart. I think we've got a very, very passionate team here in the hotel, and a very sort of forward-thinking leadership team here. And it's amazing once you start to just sort of scratch the surface with a lot of these products and these ingredients. The groundswell out there is huge, and the interest. There's a lot on social media. People are very aware of these products, and then when they get the opportunity to taste them when we bring them into the country, it's incredible the enthusiasm that people want to taste them and bring their friends in and family and take some back home again. So yeah, it's very very exciting times.
And you've been way ahead of everybody else. I mean, you've been thinking and working on this sustainability project since what, 2002?
Yeah, way back. Yeah, many years. Yeah, so it's. I think we've done a terrific job of humans as probably mucking up this planet, and we probably don't have many years left to fix it. So there's a lot of work to be done, and consumption is not a bad thing. It's just we need to have the right consumption, and not all products are bad. We just need to find the right ones and consume them in moderation. So we're not advocating that people don't have a choice, but we just want to make sure that when we bring products into the hotel and provide them on our menus, that we're giving them a choice. And I think all of our guests, they want to be part of the solution, not the problem. And I think that enthusiasm, speaks volumes in our hotel with our business.
Now, speaking about consumption and consuming in moderation, we're going to go back to the music, but I do want to talk about the world's first complete vacuum waste management food digester system that you installed in the basement of Hyatt Hotel about 5 years ago. So we'll talk more about that.
We are speaking to Chef Lucas Glanville from the Grand Hyatt Hotel, Singapore. Here's Modern Talking, Brother Louie on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
So, Chef Lucas, this continues to impress me because the hotel, you advocated it, to have this machine that has helped the Grand Hyatt keep 400 tons of food waste out of landfills every year.
Wow.
Because every single bit of food that we don't finish on our plates in the restaurants, and there's a lot of food out there, especially with your Straits Kitchen, because it used to be the whole buffet line, right? I'm not sure about now if it's still buffet line, but you convert 100% of that food waste into pathogen-free organic fertilizers, which you use in the hotel's green space, which is up on top on the roofs, right?
Yeah. So when we started this, it's a bit like a science project in our basement, and we had an opportunity many years ago, and I met a kitchen consultant of all people, and they showed us this technology. And at the time, it was a very expensive piece of technology, and it was probably a bit out of our grasp. Anyway, over the years, we continued to talk to these companies, and we put together a project, and we reached out to the government, the NEA. They were very supportive. And we installed 2 machines. So we have a vacuum waste machine. So the first part of this machine is where waste is generated. So in the kitchens, you have waste from chefs when they peel vegetables, and you have bones, etc. So all these products, all this waste goes into the machine, and also any plate waste goes in there. And under vacuum, it gets sucked down to our basement, to a centralised area. It goes through a grinder. Interestingly, food is about 50% water, so it goes through a dewatering system. And purely by doing that, we reduce our waste by about 50%. Wow. And then it goes into this digester, and this is where it gets we accelerate what you'd have if you had a compost heap at home, or if you're sort of composting vegetables, it accelerates that. So through aerobic digestion, we add an enzyme to it, and it accelerates that by agitating the waste in the chamber and adding this enzyme, adding some heat to it. Within 24 hours, we have fertiliser. So we've sort of broken that chain, and none of our food waste now goes to landfill in Singapore. So it's a great opportunity, and a great example of what can be done with a bit of thought and reaching out to people in the community. We're really proud of it.
That's
Fantastic.
quite amazing.
Fantastic.
24
everyone should be doing this.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, besides Hyatt Hotel, are there any other hotels in Singapore that have the same system?
Who have followed your lead?
I don't think they have the full system. There's this technology is moving forward very fast. And there's all types of digesters. There's some that turn waste into liquid, and it sort of goes down the drain. Some turn into fertiliser, some turn into pellets, and it can be used as a fuel to maybe used in the boiler in the hotel or in other areas. So the technology is moving very fast in this area. But we don't believe anyone has the full system that we have. In fact, we don't believe anyone in the world has this full system that we have. So from start to finish, our food waste is not handled by anyone. It's fully automated. So it makes our hotel a lot more hygienic. Our back of house areas are a lot more cleaner and hygienic. No more rubbish bins in the back of house, so there's a bit more space for the chefs to move around in. So, it's a lot more efficient, and we're really proud of it.
Okay, so no one else in the world, you say, has this particular food digester system, and clearly no one at home has a system that can compost it within 24 hours. But what kind of tips can you give to the individual households as to how to get rid of food waste properly so that it doesn't go into landfills?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, because you need to, where does food waste start? And it's not just what's left on your plate. It starts from purchasing food. It starts from cooking food. How many people are you cooking for? You need to have an understanding of that. In our hotel, back in the day, we're cooking for thousands and thousands of people a day. So it's all about scale. So if you're a family at home and you're cooking for 3 or 4 or 5 people, first make sure you're cooking for 3, 4 or 5 people, that you're not cooking for more. And if you are, make sure that there's an opportunity where you can use that food that's left over. And maybe if there's food left over from dinner, you can maybe pop in a container and put it in the fridge and take to work the next day and have it for lunch, or you can reuse it. So I think utilising food and making sure you consume 100% of it, that's the most important part. So it goes in layers. And then if there is any waste left over, how else can it be utilised? So we have a program in our hotel where we repurpose food. So if maybe there's food that you can pass on to someone else, or maybe you can give to your next door neighbour. Maybe if there's too much and you can't consume it, maybe your next door neighbour can have it, and you can sort of share it in the community. But I think it's really identifying what waste is, and it's not just what's left over at the end. There's a journey of how you create waste. So you need to break down those barriers of how you can consume it all. And I suppose if there is waste, maybe you can. There are smaller opportunities at home where you can compost. There's some very simple pieces of equipment on the market which are very, very low cost, and you can compost your own products. And then maybe if you've got a little herb garden at home or near your community, you can put the fertiliser on there, and plants love fertiliser and the ground loves compost. So it makes the world a better place.
Yeah, I think a lot of HDB areas as well have their own little vegetable gardens.
They do now. I live in HDB, and we have a lot of flower gardens. We have a lot of vegetable and herb gardens that are grown. And, if we are composting, that really does help these people.
I'm going to give you my compost.
Okay, that'll be a good idea. I'll just go dump it in the flower pots.
No, don't just dump it. Okay.
Charge him a little bit for it.
I should, right? So, Chef Lucas, it's not just about getting rid of food that's left on the plates or food that has expired. It's also about what you guys were doing with your extra food from the buffet line. You had worked with a local startup company called Treatsure, right?
Yes. And they've been great supporters.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, repurposing, I think, is very important. The scale of our hotel and all of our hotels in the region, unfortunately, you're going to have some measurement of waste left over at the end of a meal period. Obviously, we can't put that back out on the buffet or serve it again to another guest. However, if you're at home, if you take the method, if you're at home, if we're all having a meal together and there's some food left in the middle of the table, we wouldn't dispose of it. You would put it in a container, put it in the fridge, and you'd have it another time. However, in a commercial environment, in a hotel, we're unable to do that, and that's fair enough. So we any food that is edible, we repurpose that to people in the community who can share that. But Treatsure, we offer an opportunity that you can come into our restaurants. We give you a compostable takeaway container, and you can put whatever you want in there.
Okay, one second.
Okay, hold on, Chef. Katy Perry last Friday night right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We have been speaking to Chef Lucas, who is from the Grand Hyatt, Singapore. And once again, good morning, Chef Lucas, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Chef Lucas, you've always been a great advocate of reducing food waste, and we were just talking about the good food that isn't finished, for example, from a buffet line like at Straits Kitchen or something. And you work very closely with local communities as well, and with a local startup called Treatsure. Tell us how you repackage this food for the needy.
Yeah, so we food that is, you're going to have some form of wastage that you can't repurpose or reheat. And that would go into our digester. But food that can be repurposed or reheated, we gather that food together and we share it with some people in the community so it doesn't end up in landfill. But we also have a great opportunity. You can come into Straits Kitchen 45 minutes before the end of any meal period, and we will give you a compostable container. And for $12, you can fill that container with whatever you want off our buffets and take it home. And it's great value for money and a great opportunity that you can get an amazing takeaway meal from our hotel.
Just very important question. About what time should I come in again? 45 minutes. Really important.
Okay, so 45 minutes before the end of any meal period. So breakfast, lunch, our high tea and dinner. We have 4 meal periods a day in Straits Kitchen. So come on down and we'll pass you the container. And whatever you can fit in that container, you can take away.
Wow. And how popular is this? Do you see a lot of people coming down to take away food?
We do. It's a new thought process that we've introduced into the hotel, and we've had it running for many years now. But it's very, very successful and a great opportunity and win-win for us, because we unfortunately have a problem at the end of a meal period where we have a quantity of food left over that we need to find a home for. So it's a win-win for the guest. The guest can come in, get a great opportunity, get some of our amazing local food from Straits Kitchen, and it's win-win for everybody.
You got to get cues today, I think.
We'll do a little bit of work and find out what time your meal times are, specifically 45 minutes before the end of the meal. Chef Lucas, Grand Hyatt has always been a leader in providing plant-based options in Singapore. For example, your series of food truck activations for Beyond as well as Omni. 11 Madison Park in New York. just recently went completely plant-based. I mean, Michelin starred, known for their duck, known for their chicken and lots of meats. And yet there's a 15,000 person wait list.
Yeah.
How feasible do you think something like that is in Singapore for a well-known meat-centric restaurant to go completely plant-based?
Well, it shows anything is possible, and I think we all know that fruit and vegetables are good for you. I mean, I don't think we need to sort of repeat a lot of these things. So everybody knows a lot of the fundamentals and the basics of what they should be eating and portion sizes. So I think it's a great opportunity that the guys in New York have done. You know, who would think a restaurant of that scale and of that caliber would go plant-based? So I think as long as the food is good, as long as there's value for money, people will come. And as long as the basics are there, people will come and enjoy the food. I think that demonstrates you don't have to eat meat or seafood or dairy products with every meal. It's a choice. And as long as it's served in moderation, that's fine. And you understand where your products come from. I think provenance is very important, where your ingredients come from. But I'm sure this will just be the beginning. There'll be more and more plant-based restaurants. They have been around for years. This is not a new concept. For hundreds or thousands of years, we've had people that are plant-based or are vegan. So it's just coming to the forefront again. And I think most things are circular in life, and this is just coming to the surface again. So yeah, it's great to see. Great to see.
We are talking to Chef Lucas Glanville from the Grand Hyatt Singapore, live on The Big Show as well as thebigshow.tv. Up next, John Sakata. Here's Just Another Day on 1FM 91.3. Good morning.
Chef, I've heard you talk about the introduction of plant-based food and things like that. In a hotel setting, what sort of percentages of your menus are actual plant-based food? How do you decide that?
Oh, we'd like to have at least 20% or more, 20 to 25%, and then also have other options on top of that. So if there's a meal that has protein on there, a meat-based protein, if that can be removed, it can still be a meal. So I think flexibility on menus nowadays is very important. And we've even trialled, we did a lot of prototyping here. We even tried we've got a poolside restaurant, Oasis, where at one stage we took all the meat and seafood-based protein off the menu and put that on where the side dishes are. So the whole menu became plant-based, and rather than ordering a side dish, which is traditionally vegetable, we put the proteins on there. So the whole menu was plant-based, and if you wanted some meat or seafood on top, then you just ordered 100 grams of it, a side dish of it. And if you wanted more, you ordered 2 side dishes or 3 side dishes like you would in a... So it's about just prototyping and trying different opportunities with the menus, and that was successful as well. So, yeah.
Actually, that's an amazing idea, putting your meats as a side dish.
And as it should be, right? If anything. Chef, you were talking earlier, and we've known this since the day we were born, that eating our vegetables and fruits is so important. We have one non-believer here in the studio. Sean doesn't eat any vegetables or any fruit. Now, for those that are listening or watching us on the Big Show .tv, can you tell us how to incorporate more plant-based food at home?
Well, I think it starts with, when you go to the wet market or you go to the supermarket, get in touch with where the ingredients come from. There's a huge amount of information out there nowadays on social media of producers and how they grow their product and the origin of where it comes from. But I think get in touch with, when you go to the wet market, talk to the people that are selling the vegetables. Talk to the person that's selling the fruit and ask them, where do these products come from? What's best in season? What's best value for money? And how should I cook this? And how should I consume this? And ask questions. There's no silly questions. It's only the question you don't ask. That's the only sort of silly question. But I think get in contact with the people that are connected to the product and where it comes from, and ask them, quiz them, how should I eat it? What should I do with it? Tips and tricks, I think that's always very, very useful. But Yeah, I'm not sure why you don't eat fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Sean,
I've got no explanation as well. Just convenience.
I think it's also a problem with not the mindset of fruits and vegetables only come at the end of a meal, or it only comes as a boring salad.
Yeah,
You know, if you go out there, like you've been to a couple of plant-based restaurants with
Yes,
us as
yes.
well, and he was pretty impressed and quite surprised at how tasty plants can be.
So I think you're on the journey to be converted. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
I blame your parents, Sean.
Oh no!
Your parents didn't make you eat your fruits and vegetables.
No, they let me do whatever I
you were a
want.
kid.
Hence,
Chef, it's not just the food. It's not just the food waste. You're also a big advocate of not using any plastic in the hotel, correct?
Yeah, I mean, plastic is, we've kind of gone nuts on plastic nowadays. Everything needs to be wrapped and double or triple packaged. So plastic is a real challenge. I think the first piece of plastic that was produced on this planet is still on this planet. So we're just getting more and more. And it's everywhere now. It's in our oceans, it's in our waterways, it's in our landfills. And unfortunately, this product just does not break down. So there's a lot of technology out there nowadays on compostable plastics. But we went through a process with the team and again, a lot of prototyping of how we can just remove plastic from our hotel. And there's opportunities to maybe things that can be reused. There's glass, there's bottles that can be reused. We removed plastic water bottles in our event space, and we have Just Water, which is in a compostable package or a bottle that we use. And all of our packaging in the hotel, that we used to sell for our takeaway items or through mezzanine in our shop, we reviewed all of that sort of takeaway packaging as well. And now it's all sort of reused paper or cardboard. But yeah, plastic is something that it's sort of front and center what we're trying to reduce and remove from the hotel.
It's amazing what you guys are doing for sustainability.
Very
and
true.
Yeah.
You guys should be given award after award for this.
They have won awards after
They
awards.
need more awards. I want everyone to know.
And Chef, you yourself have won so many different awards from so many different government bodies, as well as the World Gourmet Summit and all that. What is next for yourself or for Grand Hyatt or the Hyatt Hotels around the region?
Well, it's a team effort, and yes, I've been very fortunate to be recognised over the years. But our journey will never end. I think it's continually revising and reducing and reusing and see what other opportunities are out there. We talk about single-use plastic, and there's a big opportunity for single-use glass. There's a lot of glass that comes into the hotel that only gets used very, very quickly and then gets disposed of. So there's opportunities to reuse glass. I think our food journey will never end. We will continually look to review our ingredients, where they come from, collaborating with suppliers and our producers. A lot of opportunities in Singapore. There's 30 by 30, where Singapore would like to produce 30% of its food ingredients by 2030. I mean, this is only just around the corner. We've got 9 years to go to reach this target. So working with producers here in Singapore, how we can sort of collaborate together and continue to work on this journey. So, yeah, still a lot of work to be done.
But certainly the winds of change are blowing
Yes,
in the right
absolutely.
direction, thanks to
Yes.
you and your team, Chef.
Yes. Thank you for all that you do. Okay, my last question is, you have that organic rooftop herb garden. Now, obviously, not everything can be used. What do you do with the extra herbs and vegetables that you grow on the roof garden?
Well, we actually we use everything from the herb garden. So our demand is bigger than our supply for the herb garden. And we were really fortunate that it's on the roof of our ballroom. And that was a place that we had some landscaping up there, which wasn't quite working. And we came up with the idea, why don't we put a herb garden there? And next thing you know, we've got a herb garden there. So the team got together and we knew some people, we knew some other people. And then the next thing, we've got a herb garden there. But yeah, we grow a lot of all of our basil for Pete's Place, our Italian restaurant, we grow up there. A lot of our herbs for our restaurant, we grow chilies. We had some dragon fruit. We've got some gourd up there, bananas, lemongrass. And as we all know, the price of land in Singapore is at a premium. So sort of production in the Orchard Road area, it's not the cheapest real estate in the world to grow product in. But we're really, really fortunate that, the herbs that we have in all of our restaurants, lemongrass, sugarcane, is all grown on the rooftop of the restaurants. So, yeah, we will continue to grow more and more. There's rosemary up there. and different times of the year, we sort of have a wet season here. Some things grow better in the dry times of the year compared to the wet season. Eggplant is another one we grow. Some capsicums. Wow. So it's never ending. We're just continually trying different products to grow up there. So and often we take our guests up there as well to show them, and you can see it out of our sort of, we've got 2 towers here, but from our front tower you can look on into the garden and see the growth there. So it's amazing and great for junior chefs to see where their ingredients come from, and I think part of that journey of understanding how long does it take to grow certain ingredients. So and that's also connected to wastage. If you truly understand how long it takes to grow something and the effort that's gone into it, I think it will change your mindset of how much of that you consume, and more often than not, you'd want to make sure you use 100% of something rather than wasting anything when you see the effort that's gone into it.
Yeah,
so many reasons to support the Grand Hyatt Singapore.
Very
absolutely.
true.
I'm only going to eat at the Grand Hyatt Singapore from now on.
I have another very, very important question to ask him a little later on when we come back.
All right.
Stand by one traffic.
Yeah, we got it.
Here we go.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
Alrighty, we've got Woodlands Avenue 12 towards Avenue 1, an accident after the SLE, avoid the left lane. AYE towards the MCE, a vehicle broken down before Jurong Town Hall exit, and the PIE towards Tuas, a vehicle broken down after Eng Neo Avenue. Please stay within the speed limit, have everyone buckled up, be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, Singapore. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Big Show and thebigshow.tv. We are with Chef Lucas Glanville, King of Culinary Operations, Singapore and Southeast Asia, and the Hyatt Hotels. Thank you so much for joining us. We love talking to you about this, and I have to say, I'm so inspired.
Very inspired.
Very impressive work.
Inspired.
Very, very impressive work. And I said it, on Facebook just now on thebigshow.tv. I said, I'm going to support the Grand Hyatt Singapore because of Chef Lucas and his team. You guys are amazing.
You guys are doing a really, really good job. I mean, Chef, you are such a familiar face at conferences for sustainability, panel discussions. You've also recently been recognized for your work in food and beverage sustainability as well. You received countless number of awards. But there is one very important question that I need to ask you. When is the Martini bar reopening?
Well, I'll tell you what. If we knew that, it'll be open yesterday. So I think it's just a matter of time. It's a waiting game, and we just need to go through this process. Fortunately, we've reopened all of our restaurants, and it's just part of I think this new normal. So you'll be the first person we'll let you know as soon as we know, we'll let you know. So yeah, just a matter of time.
Fantastic. And speaking of all your restaurants being open, you did earlier mention very briefly that when you have extra food, people can just go in 45 minutes before closing time. Correct.
Correct. Yes. And through safe distancing, you can come up to our buffets, and we'll give you we'll give you a compostable takeaway container, and we'll give you some compostable cutlery as well to take away, and you can come and get a meal and take whatever you want from any of our Malay or Indian or sort of local Chinese food, and take it away and enjoy it at home with your family and friends. And yeah, it's a great value and best food in town.
$12 a box. I think that's fantastic.
You know where I'm going to be today, right? You know this, right?
So 45 minutes before, you might as well ask Chef right now,
Timing.
what time that would be. So 45 minutes
before breakfast.
So the end of breakfast. So our breakfast finishes at 10:30. So from 9:45 until 10:30.
Okay.
You can come down, and our lunch finishes at 2:30. So
45.
1:45.
And our high tea finishes at 5 p.m. So from 4:15.
Yeah.
And then our dinner period sort of finishes at 9 p.m. So we need to have our guests leave our restaurants before 9:30. So 45 minutes before 9 p.m.
Well,
So
you can
I'll just-
definitely expect a queue today.
I'll just camp outside the Hyatt today. I'll be
Four
set.
different timings.
Fantastic.
You and your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And you have enough people in the household.
That's true.
Yeah.
In groups of 2, please. Thank you so much, Chef Lucas Glanville, once again, Director of Culinary Operations, Singapore and Southeast Asia, Hyatt Hotels, for spending your Wednesday morning with us.
Thanks for the opportunity. Great to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Chef.
much.
Thanks, Chef.
Thank you.
Up next,
Bye-bye.
Roxette. This is Dangerous on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Chef.
Chef. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the opportunity. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Okay.
you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right.
We've got 1 minute, then he's coming in.
That is
Very
just
nice.
Right?
what that. It's amazing.
It's been around for a while. Then $12.
I want to go
you're
see
gonna
that garden.
Yeah.
I've never seen the garden.
I don't
wanna
think
go
it's
see
open to the
garden.
public. The herb
He said
garden.
he can bring people up there?
Yeah.
Well, with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
They
like
have to.
special only, like
You can't
weird.
just go up there and take
Yeah.
a bag
Exactly.
and take
No,
all your
you can't.
herbs.
No.
And
I
But I
just
know
want
Angel
to
and-
see it.
you
because-
what? You know Angel, yeah.
That's why.
And Angel knows Chef. So
That's why.
Oh, he's talking about capsicums and sugar cane, and this is not small stuff. This is big stuff.
I didn't want to mention it just now because we were on air and all that,
Yes.
But now that no one is listening, I just want to say that I only drink sugarcane juice at the
Grand Hyatt?
Singapore.
Oh, really?
Right?
Yeah, because you know how dirty it is and all the.
you know
rocks and
everyone
that.
else on
right,
Facebook
right,
is listening, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We've got
Yeah.
a second guest today. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
yes,
We
yes.
do. Yes.
But
Right, the king of
45
swing, Jeremy
minutes.
Montero,
Can
is
you
coming up.
imagine? I do want to go get some food as well.
So do I.
You know, you're given a box, you pay $12. If you're not going to be eating at home, you're also given compostable forks and spoons or knives or
Yeah.
whatever it is. You pack everything you can into that box.
Yeah.
And then you pay $12 and you go.
Yeah.
It's great. Tea time, dinner, breakfast, lunch.
I'm there, lunch, high tea, and dinner today, man. I'm just sitting outside. the
Last night I
Hyatt.
was just sitting down. I was thinking, like, okay, I've been wanting to get fitter, stronger, lose some visceral fat and all that. I said, okay, I'm going to cut my food intake by about 40%.
Okay.
40 is a
And
lot.
that is good
That's a
as well,
lot.
right? I mean, if people consume less, this
Yes.
is good for the planet as well.
Well, this
It
is
is.
exactly what
It
Chef
is.
was saying.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
it starts with the consumption, and
So
if
what
you,
I'm saying is, don't eat too much every day.
no, it's true.
because
just
you're going to
consume
send
less,
your
purchase
family
less.
of 5,
You
to
can
No,
only,
not quite.
yeah, because at buffets you tend to overeat.
Yes.
You know, but if you're given one
Yes.
box for $12, you really get to see what can fit in
No,
there.
but you think
know?
about
That's true.
it. The average household now, the average household does overcook.
Of course.
Yes.
Living in an Asian society, this is the way we are.
It's
right?
always
we
better
want
to have more. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We have to have more
Yeah.
Yeah.
rather than less.
Yeah.
You cannot
see?
let your guests or your family go hungry. So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
it's abundance, right?
It's
It's a
abundance.
face thing.
Yeah.
So
It's
we're really overcooking all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start, and I think that was one of the biggest cues I walked away with is cook for who is there.
Correct. Yeah. Who else are you cooking for?
Yeah.
You can't cook unless you're cooking ahead and you're meal prepping and you know you're going to eat the food the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's okay. But some food doesn't keep.
Correct.
So you're
Yeah.
not going to want to
my-
make so much.
My dad can't do that. My dad has to cook for 30 people at least.
Oh, really? For a family of 3? 4?
5. let's say
5. Okay.
So he cooks for 30. Just let him know I have 5 at home.
That's why you must take
So
orders
you just
already.
pass
He's a
over.
great cook, but he can't measure for nuts.
Right.
Oh,
Right,
really?
right.
So you get home cooked food every day?
Yeah, more or less.
Wow, lucky
Wow.
boy. No wonder you're not moving out.
Yeah. Half the time I'm not
No
eating
wonder
at
you don't
home,
want to
so-
get married.
Yes. For what? Get married when you got parents. Take care of you.
We'll bring our little compostable boxes to your
Yeah,
house
yeah,
and
yeah.
take some food away.
Yes,
$12 per
can
box.
You must talk to your
start
mom.
Charging.
To ask your mom, Auntie, how come you didn't force fruits and vegetables down your
his
son's
throat,
throat?
right?
It's very interesting because as a child, that was the one thing we were made
Oh
to
my
eat
God.
at every meal. If you did not eat your vegetables, you sat at the dining table until you finished your vegetables.
I used to think that I could actually hide my vegetables under my chicken bones or my rice. I used to think that if I sat this way and my food was facing me this way, I could actually tuck it in and my parents wouldn't see it. I tell you, all children believe this. You tuck it under
Yeah.
Think
your rice.
for us
or-
guys, easy because we all wanted to be Popeye. So spinach
Spinach.
was my favorite veg.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
of Popeye?
Yeah, I wanted to be as strong as Popeye the Sailor Man.
Did you like the taste?
I loved it.
Oh, you love the taste.
There is a
Okay, that
very
makes a difference.
spinach.
There's a very important point being made on our Facebook page about the $12
Yeah.
compostable boxes that
Tell
the
us.
Hyatt is giving away.
Not giving away, selling.
Well, selling, yeah, for $12. It's really important. When you go and do this, take what you can eat,
Yes.
not what you want.
So whatever fits in that box. Good morning,
Hi,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Got it.
How are you doing?
Good.
We're good.
I should have worn my hat
Love the hat, man.
as
Love the hat.
well.
Yeah, I've got a hat fetish like you guys.
Oh, there you go.
Looking fantastic, Jeremy. You're in your
Thank you.
studio?
Yes, I'm in my home studio.
Very nice.
And I didn't actually I couldn't sleep since 4 a.m.
Oh, no.
Excited?
because I don't do early morning, right? I said for you only, right? So 4 o'clock I woke up and I was afraid to go back to sleep. So here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for you
Well,
guys.
that's okay. We wake up at 4 o'clock as well. So you've been
Okay.
up as long as we have.
Okay.
We're not, on the radio, but we are live on Facebook right now.
Live.
And, I'm going to congratulate you again later when we go on the radio. But congratulations, Jeremy,
man.
on the...
Awesome.
Okay.
On your album live at No Black Tie Kuala Lumpur. It's doing so well. This of course is it's you, it's Jay Anderson and Lewis Nash, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you guys are currently, as of 21st of June, number 17 on
done.
Jazz Week's Jazz Chart.
Nice.
Yes, that's right.
And
Yeah.
ahead of...
Nora Jones.
Wow. Well done.
Nora who?
I like you already.
How did that collaboration in terms of releasing that
Yeah.
CD come about?
Well, we recorded it in 2018, actually, in April in Kuala Lumpur. And I just sat on it for a while. And I said, I think we should really, mix it and master it and put it out there. And so my engineer and I, Sunil Kumar and I worked on it. We did like 12 mixes altogether before we sent it off to my engineer in Germany to master it. So we put it out. Then I got my publicist in the US and I have a publicity team in the US, and they all jumped into action, put it in front of 450 radio stations.
Wow.
It's playing about 90 stations now.
Wow.
And then of course to all the magazines and blogs and jazz blogs and magazines. And I'm so happy that people like it,
It's interesting. Why did you record it in a club and not in a studio?
Well, I was playing with these two guys. Jay Anderson, of course, is the legendary bass player with
Yes.
Joe Sample and Cameron McRae, and who's an old friend as well. And Louis Nash is the most recorded drummer in jazz history. Can you imagine
Wow.
that? So we were going on this tour of Malaysia and then to a few cities in China. And the club in Malaysia has this beautiful Fazioli piano, which is supposedly the best piano in the world now. The guy who invented it, Mr. Fazioli, said, I'm going to set up to make the best piano in the world. And I think he has. That's all Herbie Hancock plays now. I don't have the luxury of saying that's all I'm going to play now, but that was what was in the club. And so what's in the club. So we decided to record it there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite something.
Well, no black tie is really up there for jazz clubs in Asia, right?
Yes.
I've been there before in KL. So what about the rest of the region? What would you rank some of the best jazz clubs in Asia for when travel can open up again, and for jazz lovers who want to go and sit down and listen to some real jazz?
Well, firstly, in Singapore, there's already a really good place called Maduro in Dempsey. That's waiting to open as well. And in September, I'm opening my third jazz club, my third attempt at a jazz club.
Okay, tell us more in a while. Tell us more in a while. Jeremy.
ask you that in
We
a
are going
while.
for a traffic update, and then we'll go on air, and I'll ask you about the album, and we'll just do that again, okay?
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, stand by.
OneFM 91.3 traffic.
Okay, Woodlands Avenue 12 towards Avenue 1, an accident after the SLE. Avoid the left lane. AYE towards the MCE, a vehicle broken down before Jurong Town Hall exit. And on the PIE towards Tuas, a vehicle broken down after Eng Neo Avenue. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to The Big Show and TheBigShow.tv. As promised, we have as our second guest for today, Singapore's King of Swing. He is a jazz pianist, he is a singer, composer, and music educator. He was awarded the 2002 Cultural Medallion for Music, of course, by the National Arts Council, Singapore. He turned professional at the tender age of 16. The one, the only, our friend, Mr. Jeremy Montero.
Hey, hi everyone. So good to see you.
Good morning.
Good seeing
Good
you.
morning.
First and foremost, congratulations to you on your album, Live at No Black Tie, Kuala Lumpur. It is doing so well on the jazz charts right now. In fact, according to Jazz Week, which publishes industry news and a weekly top 100 ranking of music played by jazz radio stations, hundreds of jazz radio stations in the USA. Jeremy's album is currently, as of 21st of June, number 17 on the chart, ahead of Nora Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Nora who?
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Well
Awesome.
done,
you.
Jeremy.
Thank you so much.
Tell us how that collaboration came about for the album.
Well, Jay Anderson is one of the great bass players of the world, and we've known each other for quite a while. Played with Toots Tillemans and so on together. And Louis Nash is the most recorded drummer in jazz history. And so they had come over to train our youth musicians here in Singapore in 2018. And then we did a tour of Malaysia and China. And we decided to record a live album at this wonderful jazz club in Kuala Lumpur, No Black Tie.
Why a jazz club and not a studio?
Well, I mean, I have 45 albums now. This is my 45th album.
Wow.
And I've got 40 studio albums and 5 live records. So I think it was time for a live record after 8 consecutive studio albums, and which I recorded in Germany, the last 8 albums. And so I decided this club in Kuala Lumpur. Firstly, my friend Sunil Kumar, the great engineer who travels with me all over the world, and she lives there. And then they have a beautiful Fazioli piano, which, now Herbie Hancock, that's the only thing he plays now.
Wow.
Wow,
It's a great
amazing.
piano. So, so I took the opportunity to. I can't blame the instrument if I played badly now.
Well, speaking of great jazz clubs, I mean, No Black Tie is up there in Asia. For me, I love Siam Supper Club, which is in Phuket. And
Yes.
you're talking about one in Dempsey, Maduro, but you're also talking about opening up your third, fourth, which one is it?
My third attempt 1 and 2 was a lot of fun, but it didn't last very long.
Okay.
In the 90s. So I'm opening up my third attempt at a jazz club called Simply Live, together with the Tin Box Group, who already have the Tin Box Live House and Tin Box Retro Bar.
Right.
So Adrian, who owns it, and I are very close friends, and he said, look, I want to do a jazz club. I said, don't do it, you lose money. He said, no. And he asked me like 12 times, So he says, listen, bro, either I do it with you or someone else. Are you going to do it with me or not? I said, okay, I'll do it with you. So we're opening in September.
All right.
And have you found a location yet?
Yeah, right, at Chimes.
At
So,
Chimes, okay.
Right when you come down the right escalator in the,
Yeah,
in
where
the
Tim Box
basement
is.
one, it's right there.
Simply Live.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we
Simply
going
jazz,
to
simply
get
jazz,
an
yeah.
invite from you?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Yeah, please.
Front row seats, please. I love
Yeah.
live
Can I
jazz.
propose a comedy night as well over at Tin Box?
Next
Once
door.
in a while. Once in a while.
Our Sean
Yeah.
is a stand-up comedian.
I've just got to tell you, Jeremy, that when this place opens and when we're there, you have to play In Your Own Sweet Way.
Okay.
Because that is my favorite track.
Okay,
off your
so he's
album,
made
man.
up
Oh,
his
thank you,
mind.
thank you.
I've
So
been
good.
listening to the 9 songs, right? So there's In Your Own Sweet Way, Just in Time, Prelude to a Kiss, Mode for Love, Josephina, there's Mount Olive, Life Goes On, Monk in the Mountain, and Watermelon Man. I can't
Decide.
which is my favorite.
I like the sound of Monk in the Mountain, although I haven't heard it yet.
I was listening to the album, and sometimes you listen to an album and you wait for a song that just connects for
Captures
a
you.
reason that you don't know. And that's what I got out of In Your Own Sweet Way. It just connected. I cannot explain why.
I think Life
It
Goes
just
On for
did.
me.
Life goes
Really?
on.
Yeah. Do you
Great.
have do you have a favorite?
Well, I think I like Mount Olive because I wrote it in the style it's recorded, but I recorded it before, but as a funky soul jazz arrangement. So this is the first time I've actually recorded it the way I composed it and the way I originally intended. like after recording it before. So I like Mount Olive very much. It's got a gospel. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember LD Young and Red Holt used to come and play the Somerset Bar all the time.
Yes.
So one morning when we were touring, we were playing in Washington, D.C. They came and banged on my door at 7 in the morning. Hey, we're going to take you to church. I said, I don't go to church. No, so you're going today. And they took me to the Mount Olive Black Baptist Church. And I heard this amazing music, the real deal, the choir and the pastor jumping and flipping around and the whole atmosphere, right? I never forgot it. And so I wrote this song in memory of that occasion and also as a tribute to the late LD Young and the very much active 89-year-old Red Holt.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
I love hearing inspirational stories. Sean's choice will be Monk in the Mountain.
I've decided to become a monk as well.
I thought Watermelon Man was also, quite interesting. Okay, we'll continue to talk to Jeremy Montero live on thebigshow.tv. Meantime, here's Maroon 5 with Wake Up Call on 1FM 91.3.
Jeremy, we know that you're in the forefront of jazz in Singapore. You always have been. You are the maestro. You are the one that everyone looks to. Is there a crop of young jazz players in Singapore that are coming up? Is this going to continue?
The future of jazz.
The future of jazz.
Yeah, wonderful question. Actually, I've said this before, and that is now we have more high-level jazz musicians in Singapore than we have ever had in our history.
Oh, wow.
And they're all just waiting to get out there to play. I mean, I also run the Jazz Association Singapore, so you see some of the musicians in the Jazz Association Singapore Orchestra and Youth Orchestra. But these guys are amazing. There's a 22-year-old saxophone player, Sean Hongwei. He's already one of the best in the region. On the flute, Rich Shi. Oh, sorry, my phone.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
It's actually my alarm. Then there's also Rich Shi, the great flute player. And believe it or not, 5-6 years ago, he won the USA Jazz Flute Competition. Singaporean boy,
Oh.
And
We
so
don't
you're getting
hear this,
Yeah. So actually, in the next 5 years of my career, what I'm going to be doing actually is trying to get between 3 and 5 people onto the global stage for jazz. Because
Lovely.
I want it to be in 5 years' time, people don't say Singapore jazz, Jeremy Montero. That's too boring. There's going to be a bunch of us, and I hope to do that over the next 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
wonderful.
Awesome, Jeremy.
That's
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
Jeremy.
Right.
So
hey,
you're
also, okay, go on.
No, you go ahead. That's okay.
I just want to wish Jeremy a belated birthday as well.
Yeah.
Just celebrated his birthday 3 days ago.
Wow,
Happy birthday.
I
Happy
feel-
27th, Jeremy.
I feel we can't sing, in front of a musician, even
Yeah.
if we want to do
no.
happy
You
birthday.
can,
It's
of
like,
course, but-
Ken, why not?
all right.
You guys are not confident.
Ready, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jeremy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I'll blow the imaginary candle.
But how was your birthday? Okay?
It was great. Last year I turned 60. I'm 61 this year. Last year, every half an hour, someone's coming with whiskey or wine or flowers or chocolates or roast chicken. So this year the procession was a little bit less, but still there was a procession.
Wow.
We should count ourselves so lucky, right? To have a procession of people wanting to give you gifts.
Jeremy, Sulaiman is asking on our Facebook page, will we ever bring the Jazz Festival back?
Well, actually, as you know, I produced the 2001 Jazz Festival,
Yes.
which was very big for Singapore Airlines. But more recently, my friends Ian Ingram and David Smith have been producing Sing Jazz Festival. But now with COVID, it's they're taking a break. But I think they have every intention to bring it back as soon as we can gather in large crowds again.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and judging by what's happening at the Euro Championship, I was talking to Jeremy about the Euro Championship over the weekend when we were arranging this interview.
Yeah.
And he's like, he hasn't been watching it. I don't blame him because it's so late in the morning, right? It's like midnight and 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
But, the crowds are back, in Europe. In Budapest, for example, they had 67,000 people in the stadium, no shirts on, no mask.
Yeah.
For the
distancing.
guys, that is, no safe distancing. So I think we are going to
Hopefully.
get back to that. Once I think, as our ministers have said, if we hit 90% of the population,
Population being
once we
vaccinated.
get vaccinated, then that's it. It's time to open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, many people are saying, we don't see these events happening, for the next 3 years. I don't think so.
You think it'll be sooner?
I think in a year from now, we'll be all right. We'll be all set to swing once again.
Yeah.
Speaking
Well,
of that, Jeremy,
Yeah.
you know, with all these restrictions, everybody's going online and streaming stuff. Do you have anything coming up in the future, the near future, that people can get into when it comes if they want to listen to jazz?
Well, I've had quite a few streaming shows already, like International Jazz Day.
Yeah.
And also Jazz It Up, which is our jazz celebration of Chinese songs last Sunday.
Yeah.
So the small hiatus now. We're probably going to do an actual live concert on the 30th or 31st of August with the beautiful Malay songs done in the jazz style. So we're still working on that, and we hope that can happen. And of course, I have a concert at Splendid on the 18th of September, celebrating this record. I won't be bringing the guys over. I'll work with the guys from over here, but music from the album at the Esplanade on the 18th of September. And my Christmas show that I missed doing last year, I've done it 14 times. I can't wait to do the 15th, the Jazzy Christmas. That'll be on the 18th of December as well. A few other things in between, you know.
Good. So we will look out for all that.
Yeah.
And I stream once in a while. I do stream. I just I announce my live in my little studio that you see me in now, and I get a pretty good audience.
Good.
Oh, that's
Good.
nice. So, Jeremy, you've been you've been involved with jazz since you were 16 years old. When was that moment that you knew that jazz was going to be the rest of your life?
Well, I played classical piano at the age of 6, right? And at 14 years old, I was listening to this Quincy Jones album, and it was Toots Tillemans playing a song called Brown Ballad. And I was just standing there, and tears were coming down my eyes because I was so touched by Toots' music. And my mom comes up to me and says, "Jeremy, why are you standing in the middle of the living room and crying?" You know, I said, "Mom," I said, "I haven't heard anything more beautiful than this."
Oh, wow.
And you know, and I decided then that I wanted to become a jazz musician. And how I didn't know that in about 20 years from then that I would have a chance. Actually, 30 years from then I would have a chance to play with Toots Tillemans.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That must have been incredible.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to ask Jeremy, what is it like being a music genius like yourself? You know, it's like I'm just imagining, right? Like I can't play a single instrument, right? But you know, when you're so immersed in it, right?
Yeah.
While you're playing the music, you must feel it touch your soul.
You do like I can play the classical piano, but I've always dreamed of playing jazz impromptu. You know, like actually being able to go into a bar and like jamming, get sessions with whoever's there. So
Yeah.
that's what Jeremy can do. And to Glenn's question.
Yeah. But do you feel like it's touching your soul? Like, you know, when I get pissed off, I go to the gym and punch the punching bag, you know. But, I mean, depending on your mood, right? I mean, I'm sure you just head to your piano and you just play, right? And
Well,
you feel
it's a beautiful thing to do, Glenn. And as you said earlier, when you said I'm a genius, I'm only a genius in my own lunchtime.
Too modest, Jeremy.
But you know, I mean, of course, sitting down and playing. Every time I sit down at the instrument and I play, and I go, I'm so blessed to do this. But you know, actually, improvisation, Angelique, was actually part of classical music.
Oh, right.
Bach would have been a great jazz musician if he was alive today. You know, those variations on a theme is nothing but Bach improvising on his original theme. But because there were no tape recorders or mobile phones to record them, then they notated it. And then people will start to play the notation like it was written music, when really it was just, it was just there for to record all these improvisations. And all the concertos, all the cadenzas were all improvised,
Okay, hold on, Jeremy. We're going back on air. Bill Medley featuring Jennifer Warnes. I've had the time of my life. And boy, are we having the time of our lives.
True.
Speaking to the king of swing himself, Jeremy Montero.
So, Jeremy, you were talking about improvisation. How big a part of jazz is improvisation?
Oh, it's the whole crux. I mean, firstly, jazz comes from the blues, of course. But the whole thing about jazz is improvisation. I mean, without improvisation, it wouldn't be jazz, Yeah.
You've played at some of the biggest jazz festivals in the world. What's that like?
Well, actually, after I played on the main stage of the Montero Jazz Festival, right after Chick Corea and right before Mongo Santa Maria.
Oh, wow.
And after the show was over and the standing ovation for 3-4 minutes, the guys went and had breakfast. I just stood like I was stoned. I mean, it's like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was such a surreal experience that I still, can't believe that I went through. I put the whole concert on YouTube, by the way. You can watch the entire concert now on YouTube.
That made the news, man. I remember. Jeremy Montero playing at the Montero Jazz Festival. Well, that was huge.
Yeah.
Which year was it?
1988.
88. That was special. That was special.
Yeah.
Really,
So what's the
really special.
future for Jeremy Montero besides the jazz club?
Well, besides opening Simply Jazz, I'm working very hard with the Jazz Association Singapore. It's really something that my friends and I started, and I've got a great team. It's our baby. We really want to see it. We've just become a major arts company after 4 years now, and one of 48 major arts companies in Singapore. And so we're just going to work hard and train our youth, enlarge our audience, and do whatever it is we can do with the association.
Okay.
Awesome. Really good.
Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we let you go, I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't downloaded Live at No Black Tie Kuala Lumpur, featuring Jeremy Montero, Jay Anderson, and Lewis Nash, you got to do it. You can do it on Spotify, you can do it on Apple Music, and of course, they are riding high at 17 right now on the jazz charts. And we are hoping that you guys break into the top 10 real soon.
You will.
Thank you very much.
And that's what the album cover looks like if you're watching us on thebigshow.tv.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Any last words before we let you go, Jeremy?
Oh, no, just keep swinging, and I'll see you at Simply Jazz, okay, when we open.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you for waking up early for us.
No, my pleasure, really.
This has been a treat for the 1FM listeners and all your fans, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Glenn.
All right.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Take
Have
care,
a great
everyone.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Up next, headline news and sports, all right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
This is an important.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Jeremy.
Well done,
Thank you so
Jeremy.
much. Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Take care.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
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 Fun.
Oh,
Such an
Fantastic.
incredible guy.
Wow.
two
Such an-
awesome guests this morning.
Yes, both
absolutely.
very inspirational, both trying to do better for the country and for the industries that they work in.
Right.
You've got the sustainability, the environmental angle with Chef Lucas. Then you've got the music and the jazz with the youth as well for
Yeah.
Jeremy. So both fantastic guests.
You know who loves our Wednesday segment?
Who does?
And always
Besides me?
watches and
Besides us.
my
Besides-
brother Gary.
Oh, good morning, Gary.
He's watching. He was so excited when I told him of our guests today.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
Because
Fantastic.
he enjoyed Abbas, he enjoyed Mo Alkaf and all.
Yeah.
So he looks forward to Wednesdays.
Well, yeah.
All
Next
right.
next week we're going to have lots more fun as well. So stay tuned for that. But watch every day.
We're gonna have another chef next week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe we should tell them now.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know.
we can tell.
Is
Now,
it
come
confirmed?
Well, yeah,
More or less.
Yeah, 99%.
99.9.
99. Well,
Okay.
I just finalized it this morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Who's
So,
coming on board?
Next week is gonna be
Dun dun dun.
the one and only Chef Wolfgang Puck. Who's got a documentary coming out on Disney Plus very,
That's right.
very soon. So we'll be
Fantastic.
talking to him about that. And also, Spargo Singapore is reopening. So we're going to be asking him a little bit about that as well.
I've already made my reservations for Spargo Bar and Lounge already. 2 Fridays from now, I'm there.
So go tell everyone it's Chef Wolfgang Puck next
Yeah,
week.
fantastic.
Right here on The Big Show. All right?
Before we check out, we got 2 minutes. You guys want to learn about a new book?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's learn about the new book.
Let's bring on our returning
I told her to get
officer.
ready at 8 a.m.
Our ever ready Anjali.
I told her to get
Slash-
ready
I
at 8
must,
a.m.
I must congratulate Anjali on this. I brought up 2 ferocious readers in Chloe and Lee. And yesterday we were having dinner, and Lee turned to me and said, "You must say thank you to Anjali because she has recommended some amazing books."
Oh, how awesome.
So there you go.
Brilliant. You had 2 minutes, now you've got 1 minute.
Yeah. Hurry up now.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, so today I thought that I would bring a really, really great book. It's called A Thousand Splendid Suns. I think most people have Maybe?
No.
No.
Okay, so the people who have read it, this book is in their top 5 books of all time. I can guarantee. Those who
Wow.
haven't read it need to read it.
Okay.
Because I read this book last week, and I've been doing stuff the past week, but like some parts of the book have just been playing in the back of my mind
Wow.
last week. Like when I was in the Grab today morning, I just realized something, and I was thinking about this part of the book, and then I realized this type of book leaves an imprint on you, and you don't forget about it. Like you'll find yourself in life, and then you just remember stuff about this book. So it's basically about Afghanistan, and it's set, you kind of learn a lot about some of the wars and the violence that has been going on in Afghanistan from the 70s to about the early 2000s until 9/11 happened. So the story is told from the perspective of 2 young women. And I think the story just moved me so much, because I think you don't realize sometimes how desensitized we can be to violence that happens in the Middle East until you read stories like this and you realize that real people go through these things and it horrifies you. So can you imagine actually living through a time like that? So there's some parts of this book I just cannot get out of my head. And the great thing about what the writer has done is that he's able to tie all this violence and, all the horrible things that happens, but he's able to tie it with love and sisterhood. And, he's able to make you feel happy but sad at the same time. And it's such a roller coaster of emotions, I think. I finished this book within like a day because I just couldn't put it down.
What?
Wow. Let's have a look.
Within a
Let's have a look.
day?
Let's have a
Also,
look. Show
like-
everybody the book.
Just a shout out to Thrift Asia. They're a thrift store in Singapore, bookstore, and I got this book from them. I paid $6 for this book.
Where is the store?
It's an online store.
Online store.
Yeah.
Thrift?
Thrift Asia.
So it's THRYFT.
I
dot
see.
Asia.
Okay.
THRYFT
So it's thrift but with a Y dot Asia.
.Asia. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
So-
put the link up on our Facebook as well.
Yeah.
So if you're living in Singapore, you just need to spend $20 and you get free shipping.
Oh,
And-
wow.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and the delivery takes like 3 days, 3
Nice,
days.
nice,
Oh, that's
nice.
Yeah,
good.
I have 7 books coming to my house.
What?
So these are all second-hand books?
Second-hand
books.
books.
Nice,
Okay,
nice.
yeah. Oh, it's by the author of The Kite Runner.
Runner.
I've
Oh,
watched
it's
the
Kite
movie.
Runner. I've
Yeah.
read
Yeah.
Kite
Yeah.
Runner, yeah.
I've watched
wanna watch the movie.
I've read the book and yeah.
I truly believe that this book is better than The Kite Runner.
Oh.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Great
Fantastic,
book. Highly
fantastic.
recommend.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thanks, Anjali.
Thanks for the book, Anjali.
And then we'll see you on Friday as the returning officer.
Yes. From now on, from today onwards, Anjali will take this spot after our last guest or
What's
whatever.
this spot? Yes.
This
Yeah.
this spot.
Yes.
I think it's
All right.
really good.
Yeah. I
So,
think it's
because
necessary.
We all enjoy your book
Yeah.
reviews.
And I think it's so necessary to get people reading again.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know, it's a lot of people are home. You're thinking what to do with your time. You don't always have to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Pick up a book.
Yeah, sometimes
Pick up a book.
it's just relaxing.
Yes.
It's just really relaxing.
And it really gets your mind going because you start to imagine these places and the things that people are going through. So
Yeah.
your creativity also enhances when
Right.
you read.
And you
you
fall
know?
asleep faster. So
That is one, yes. Yeah, Sean,
Sean!
you are not our target market, Sean.
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
it depends. I read a lot as well, but depends
Do
on
you?
different books. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you read?
Leadership, self-help, business.
Oh, nice.
see, that's
okay.
good.
I don't do fiction.
No, that's fine.
You should
That's
try.
fine.
No,
Yeah.
I hate books like that.
What,
Because
leadership and self-help?
Yeah, because there's so
Because
many
he feels like he
people.
knows everything.
No, because these people think they know everything. And that's
You
the
find
thing.
it
you see.
condescending.
I always feel like these self-help books written by these people. I mean, they made it to where they're at through very different circumstances.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a one-size-fits-all
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
It's good. I mean, it's good as a
I'm
guide.
Not, I'm not
It's-
big on
Yeah, it's not
on all
Bible,
that.
It's not a
Yeah, it's
Bible.
not a
yeah.
Bible.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
you
it kind
know-
of messes your mind up, you know? If you read too
No,
much of these
expands
things.
Your mind.
Yeah.
Well, if you're easily messed up, then you are. But if you just take
Yeah.
it with a pinch of salt,
Yeah.
then it's okay.
I think if you're a person whose mind gets easily messed up by your reading, read Captain Underpants. It's easy.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
one.
that's-
yeah.
It's easy.
That's the
SpongeBob,
best.
SpongeBob has
That's
some
the
great
best.
Yeah,
reads,
SpongeBob,
award-winning.
good.
Yeah,
Here's a
that's
gauge, okay? If you've been reading like hundreds and hundreds of these self-help books and stuff like that, and you look at your situation right now, you've gone nowhere. Okay,
It's time to
Yeah.
switch your genre of books.
it's time for Captain Underpants.
Underpants.
I don't believe in wasting time. All right, okay, so share the video. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.